Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these really cute, dainty beaded bangles. So this is what they look like. I'll show you up close. This is the stitch we're going to be doing today. It's like little crosses almost, and it's double-sided, as you can see. So I'm going to show you how to do the stitch and then how to turn it into a bangle. So you could also use this stitch to make a normal bracelet, necklace, choker, even a ring maybe. And I'm going to be showing you with the one like colour scheme. I'm going to use orange, but I just wanted to show you this sample I've made so you can also play around with the colours and make a really fun rainbow bangle as well. So to make one of these, you're going to need some size 11 round seed beads, and that is for this outside colour. See here where I've got the bright neon yellow. And then for the middle, I use a silver lined size 11 seed bead. Now you can either use silver lined Delica bead like I have done on these, or just a silver lined round seed bead like I did here. So the reason I do that is because that gives it that shiny sparkly effect when you wear it. It looks like there's a little jewel in the middle, so obviously you don't have to do that, but you're going to need your two colours in size 11 and then a beading needle and thread. I'm using £6 fireline in crystal for this. I can't actually tell you how much. Every time I've made one of these I've had to add a couple of times I've had to add extra thread. It does take a lot of thread to make this, so I would suggest that you just cut off as much thread as you're comfortable working with to start with, and then you may have to add a new piece as you go. I do have a video on how to add a new piece of thread. If you haven't done that before, you can check that out. So yeah, that's everything. Let's get started. So begin by threading your needle onto your thread just like that, and then you're going to pick up 4 of your main colour, not the one that is silver lined but the other one. Slide those down onto your thread, keep going all the way until you're almost at the end, and I just leave about 6 inches on the end, and then I'm going to sew up through the first 2 beads like that. Pull that through and you should have this. Now you're going to take one of your silver lined beads, and coming out of these 2 here at the top, we're going to go through these 2 on the bottom, through the next 2. So you have this, and then picking up another one of those silver lined beads, you're coming out of these 2 at the bottom, you're going to go into that next one on the top, just through the first one this time. Like that. Pull that through. So we have this at the moment. Now you're going to pick up another one of your silver lined beads. So we're coming out of this one here. And what we're always going to do, we're doing this every single time now, is we're going to be going into the one opposite in the same direction. And what I mean by that is my thread is coming out of this bead this way. We want our thread to come out of the bead opposite the same way. So you've got to take your needle through that way. So we're going diagonally opposite and in the same direction. So once you pull that through, problem with such a long piece of thread is it gets tangled on everything. You have this. Flip it over so you're now on the side that doesn't have that bead in the middle, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to add a silver lined bead in the middle. So picking up one, this time you're coming out of this one in this direction. So you're following the same rule always, no matter where you start from. You want to go into the bead diagonally opposite in the same direction. So I want to be coming out of the bead like that. So my thread's going to be coming in the same direction. Pull it through. And now you have this. So you've got that little bead on each end and on either side of the thing. Okay, now from here, we're going to move through 2 beads. So this one and the one on the end. So you're coming out of that silver lined bead right on the end. Pull, 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 pull it tight. So here we are. And now we're ready to add our next little group. So this time you're going to pick up 4 of your main colour. And we're coming out of this side of this bead, you're going to loop round and go through the other side so that you create a circle. And pull that through. So you have this. Now you're going to move your needle through these 2 on the top. And then picking up a silver lined bead and moving back through the 2 on the bottom. So now you have this. Now from here, these 2 on the bottom, you're going to move through the first one on the top, just there. Skipping that silver lined one on the side and going straight into that first one on the top. Okay, and then pull that nice and tight. So you have this. And now from here, we're going to do that same thing again with adding the beads on either side. So picking up your silver lined bead, coming out of this bead in this direction, so you're going to go into the one opposite in the same direction. Like that. Pull that through. Let it sit on the top like that and then flip it over. So here we're coming out of this bead at the top here in this direction, so picking up a silver lined bead, and we're going to go through the bead opposite in that same direction. Diagonally opposite. Pull it through. Make sure it flips over onto the top and pull it nice and tight. So as you have this. Now I'm going to move through the next 2 beads, so through this one on the bottom and up through this silver lined bead on the side, ready to add our next group. So that is basically what you do all the way along. So I'm going to show you or explain it to you one more time quickly as I do the next one. So picking up 4 of your main colour, going back into that bead that you're coming out of on the opposite side, pull it through, travel through the 2 on the top. Whoa. Then picking up one of your silver lined beads and going through the 2 on the bottom. So you have this, moving through the first bead on the top. And now adding the 2 on either side, so picking up one of your silver lined, going into the bead diagonally opposite in the same direction that you're coming out of the bead. Make sure that thread's on top so you don't get tangled. So you have this, flip it over, picking up a silver lined, going into the bead diagonally opposite the one you're coming out of in the same direction. So heading towards the way we're working. Pull it through, make sure it flips over onto the top, and then move through 2 beads through the main colour and the one on the end, the silver lined, so you're ready to add your next group. From there you just do the same thing again. So what you're going to do is keep doing that, so you can rewind a little bit and watch the same steps again if you need to, and you're just going to keep going all the way until you get the length that you need. So it does take a bit of time and a lot of thread, as I said. So basically it needs to be long enough to get around the widest part of your hand. So when you roll it on, and I will say they do have a bit of like stretch to them, so I just roll them on and off like that. They roll on and off quite easily for this length that I've done. And once you've made one and it fits okay, you can then count how many little groups of 4 you've got and do the same again for the next one. So once you've got one sized up, it's a lot easier. But yeah, measure it around the widest part of your hand, and when it's like almost there, I'll show you how to join it all together. Okay, so I've gone along until I've got a length that I need, and then just like I said, measure it around the widest part of your hand and make sure it's going to fit so that you can actually get it on. And then what we're going to do is join it together with one more little group of 4. So although it's double-sided, I like to make sure it's lying flat like this with all the beads on the top facing upwards, so that when I then bring the 2 ends together like that, it's not twisted. So I always just do that just to make sure that it's not twisted. So bring your 2 ends together like this, and you should have your working thread attached, and it should be coming out of that final silver lined bead on the end like that. And then you're going to pick up 2 of your main colour and go into the silver lined bead at the other end where your tail thread should be coming out of. So I'm coming out the bottom of this one, so I'm going to go up through the bottom of this one. If you're coming out the top, then go down through the top of that one. Just we're bringing it together into a circle, so you have that, and then picking up 2 more. Now we're coming out the top here, so you're going to go down through the top of this one. Oops, silver lined bead at the end of the other side. Okay, so you have this. So what I'm going to do is circle through all of those beads again a couple of times. Just before you carry on after this, you want to just try it out and make sure it's going to fit, because you can undo it at this point and add some extra or take off some beads if it's too long or too short. So once you've gone through it a couple of times, try it, make sure you can get it on and that it's the right size that you want. And then once you're happy with it and you've got to this stage, we're going to add the bead on either side like normal. So I'm coming down through these 2 on the side, I'm going to move up through 1 so that I am coming out here, and then I'm going to pick up 1, going into the bead diagonally opposite in the same direction like that, and then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. So I'm coming out of this bead here in that direction, I'm going to go through the one opposite in the same direction. So we have that. So now you can't tell where it was joined together. And then what I'm going to do is just move along a bit away from this area where I have joined it all together. Just moving down and across through beads. And actually for the first time making this one, I didn't have to add any more thread. So I don't know what was happening with what I told you at the beginning, but yeah, whatever thread I have left, I always save it anyway and use it for other little things that I make. So once you've moved along a little bit, I'm going to go between one of these little groups of 2 on the side, and then I'm going to tie a knot. So to do that, coming out here, I'm going to take my needle and catch those threads. A bit hard to show. So my needle is going under those threads there, that whole group of them, catch all of those threads with your needle, pull it through so you've got a small loop, and then go through the loop 2 times. Pull it down, make sure that knot tightens, and then move on through a couple of beads. Pull it really tight, and the knot should vanish inside one of the beads. And then what I like to do with this, because it's a bangle and it's going to be stretched over on and off quite often, it's going to go through a lot of stress, so I like to tie as many knots as possible until you've used up all of your thread. And then what you're going to do is take your needle, once you've done that you can cut that thread, and then take your needle and thread it onto your tail thread and do the same thing. Tie as many knots as you can and then cut that thread, and we're all finished. So that's our bangle all finished. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you're able to make one of these. Super cute, especially for the summer, to layer all these different coloured ones together. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and you were able to make one of these. Comment down below anything else you'd like to see, and follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah, and you can share pictures with me over there with what you make from my videos. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed to see more of my videos. Thanks for watching everyone. See you next time. Bye.